So having good credit in today's day and age, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be an absolute must if you guys want to strengthen your chances in life for being successful. And I say this because almost everything in this world revolves around having a good credit score. And just to give a few examples of what having a good credit score does for you is maybe you want to rent an apartment one day. Usually when you guys want to rent an apartment and you submit an application, they're going to take a look at your credit score. If your credit score is too low or you don't have any credit at all, then they're not going to accept you and they're just going to go with somebody who has a better credit score. And the reason why they do this is because they need to see that you're a responsible person, and the only way they can see that without actually knowing you is by you having a good credit score. So if your credit score isn't up to par, then most likely you're not going to get approved for that apartment that you guys are trying to apply for. In fact, there's actually luxury apartments out there that make you have a minimum credit score requirement if you guys even want to live in there. And I know this personally because I've rented luxury apartments before to where they made you have a minimum credit score requirement, because if you didn't, you could not have moved in there. But that's just one reason out of plenty to why you guys would even want a good credit score in the first place. Another reason why you guys might want a good credit score is because maybe you guys want to finance a new or used car. Most people out there don't have the money to drop $30,000 or even $40,000 plus on a car up front. So what most people tend to do is put a down payment on a car that they want and then just finance the rest and make monthly payments on it every month. But to even get to this point, to even begin with, you have to have a good credit score. Because if your credit score is too low, then you're just simply going to get denied for all types of things. You're not going to be able to buy a car. You're not going to be able to get an apartment. You're not going to be able to buy a house one day if you're not buying it up front in cash. You're not going to be able to get business loans, business credit cards, but more importantly, you're not going to be able to leverage other people's money so that way you guys can get ahead in life. Because we all know it takes money to make money, but it does not have to be your money. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to be going over 3 of the most famous ways you guys can start building or rebuilding your credit, along with a few tips so that way you guys can be super educated and even help somebody else out there who wants to start building or rebuilding their credit if they're starting at zero. So if you guys want a little bit of sauce when it comes to credit building, then make sure to watch this video all the way to the end so that way you, sir or ma'am, do not miss out on any good financial information that can help you out. If you're already subscribed, then welcome back. But if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Ismael Sandiford and you are now watching Just Money, where we talk about financial related topics such as personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay, so jumping right into it, the number one way you guys can start building or rebuilding your credit, which is actually one of my favorite ways, is by getting a secure credit card. For those out there that don't know what a secure credit card is, a secure credit card looks and acts just like a regular credit card, but the only difference is you have to put an initial refundable security deposit, and that initial security deposit then becomes your credit limit amount. So for example, if you put a deposit of $300, then you will have a credit limit of $300. Then all you would need to do is make on-time payments for the next 6 to 7 months. And with each on-time payment that you guys make every month, your credit score is going to start rising if you guys are making on-time payments. So always make sure you guys are making your payments on time and in full. But if you guys are going to have debt on your credit card for whatever reason, make sure your credit card doesn't have more than 30% usage on it. 30% of your credit score is made out of your credit usage, which is actually a big chunk. So again, if you guys are going to carry balance on that credit card, don't have more than 30% debt on there. So for example, if you guys have a secure credit card that has a $300 credit limit on it, I personally wouldn't carry more than $90 on it, because if you do, you're going to exceed that 30% credit utilization ratio. And if you exceed that, your credit score is going to drop significantly. And then also on top too, you don't want to pay the interest that comes with that card, especially if it's a secure credit card. So this is why I just recommend for you guys to just pay it off in full and on time. So that way you guys don't have to worry about the situation like at all. But anyways, once your credit score rises from making on-time payments for 6 to 7 months, depending on the credit issuer, they'll usually graduate you to an unsecured credit card, which is pretty much a regular credit card with the credit limit already on there without having to put a security deposit down. Now, a place that I would recommend to get a secure credit card, you guys, is any place out there that is a credit union. And I say this because you'll get the most benefits longevity by having a secure credit card with a credit union versus having a secure credit card with a credit issuer like Capital One or even Discover. It's just the problem about getting a secure credit card with Capital One, ladies and gentlemen, is that once you guys graduate and you want to get credit limit increases later on down the road, it's going to be hard to get it, because if you guys aren't using the card consistently or like at least 10 to 15 times a month, then it's going to be hard to get that credit limit increase with them. And if you guys don't have a higher credit limit when you guys try to apply for other credit cards down the road, you might get a low limit on your next credit card, because these credit issuers, ladies and gentlemen, like to look at something called your comparable credit. For example, if you guys have a credit card with a $500 credit limit and you're trying to apply for a new credit card, the lender is going to look at your other credit cards to see what other lenders gave you. And if they see that $500 limit, then they will give you something of around that range as well, like another $500 limit. Now, I'm not saying that you guys shouldn't be getting secure secured credit cards from Capital One because I actually think they're actually good for that. But if it were up to me personally, I definitely would start off with a secured credit card with a credit union for sure. And then as far as Discover secured credit cards, they are good if you guys can actually get approved for it. I personally seen a few friends of mine not get approved for a Discover secured credit card before, which is actually kind of rare since it is a secured credit card, but that does happen in some case scenarios. But other than that though, the Discover secured credit card is actually a good secure credit card to start building your credit with as well. But anyways, that's going to be the first way you guys can start building your credit with a secure credit card, and you really don't even have to deposit anything too crazy to even begin with either. Really, I would just do $500 if you can, but if you guys feel you can do more, then go ahead and do more, because once you guys actually graduate to unsecured status, you want a decent limit on that unsecured credit card. And ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, whenever you guys are building credit, 10% of your credit score is going to be made out of your credit mix, which accounts for both revolving credit and installment credit. Revolving credit is going to be anything that has to do with credit cards, and installment credit is going to be anything that has to do with installment loans, which actually leads me to the second way you guys can start building your credit. The second way you guys can start building your credit is by having some kind of installment loan on your guys' credit profile. For those out there that don't know what installment loan is, it's pretty much a type of loan to where you borrow a fixed amount of money and you pay it back over a period of time with interest. And a quick example of this is going to be stuff like a car note, student loan, mortgage, etc. The credit bureaus want to see both revolving credit and installment credit on your credit profile because they would like to see how well you guys are at juggling different types of credit. And again, if you guys don't know where to get an installment loan from, then I definitely would go with a credit union, because credit unions, ladies and gentlemen, are known to have something called a secured savings loan, so that way you guys can start building your credit up. And for those out there that don't know what a savings secured loan is, this is a loan that's based off the savings that you guys have in your account. Credit unions are typically the place you want to get a savings secured loan from, because not only are you building credit by getting one of these, but you're also building a better relationship with that credit union as well, so that way you can get more stuff with them later. And if you guys don't know where to get one of these loans, so that way you guys can start building your credit, I'll mention a few for you right now. You can go to Navy Federal Credit Union, and if you can't get in with them, then you can go to PenFed Credit Union, you can go to DCU Credit Union, or even Langley Federal Credit Union. Now, of course, there are going to be more credit unions that offer this product, but those were just some to name a few. Once you guys do get a savings secured loan though from a credit union, I would do a big amount like $1,000 and just pay it back over time, like a year or even a few years, to be honest. Now, you guys don't have to get a savings secured loan. There are other installment loans you guys can do out there, but I'm just saying a savings secured loan because it's one of the easiest and fastest to get, since it's just a loan based off your own money. And then on top, you're building a relationship with a credit union while building your credit too at the same time. But once you guys have some kind of installment loan that you're paying on for quite some time, not only will you have an installment loan added to your credit mix to build your credit, but now you guys are building up a history of you making on-time payments every month, which is going to look super good and boost your credit score. Now, before I talk about the third way you guys can start building your credit, I just quickly want to let you guys know that if you're getting either a secure credit card or some kind of installment loan, then your credit is going to get pulled, and that right there is going to cause a hard inquiry to your credit profile, which will temporarily lower your credit score. Now, it won't lower your credit profile too much or have any significant damage, but it is going to drop a bit since these lenders are taking a look at your credit report, which is totally normal. Now, if you guys want another simple and safe way to boost your credit without the risk of hard inquiries or overspending, then you're going to want to listen up about Kickoff, the credit building tool that's supporting today's video. Kickoff is definitely one of the most affordable and beginner-friendly tools you guys can use out there if you guys want to start building your credit safely and effectively. It works by providing you with a Kickoff trade line that gets reported to all 3 major credit bureaus. By making on-time payments every month, which is super easy to do with AutoPay, you guys can start building payment history while improving key factors like your credit utilization. Signing up for Kickoff literally only takes a few minutes of your time, and there's absolutely no credit check, no interest, and more importantly, no hidden fees. Kickoff offers plans at just $5 a month, making it super easy and a low-cost way to take control of your financial future. In fact, Kickoff users with credit scores under 600 who made on-time payments saw their scores increase by an average of 25 points in their first month and up to 84 points after their first year. So if your credit isn't where you want it to be and is holding you back, Kickoff is the easiest and the safest way to build it. Honestly, I wish there would have been a credit building tool like Kickoff when I was younger, just getting started on my credit building journey, because I definitely would have taken advantage of something like this to start building my credit. Kickoff is giving my audience 80% off your first month, which means you'll only pay $1 just to get started. Click the link in the description below or scan this QR code right here so that way you guys can sign up today. Now let's talk about the last thing you guys can do to start building your credit fast. The third thing you guys can do to start building your credit fast is by getting added as an authorized user. Getting added as an authorized user is definitely one of the best things you guys can do if you guys are looking to build or improve your credit, especially for those out there who have limited or no credit history at all. And I say this because being added as an authorized user on a credit card that has a high limit and a super good payment history can help you establish a good credit history if you don't already have one yet. If the primary cardholder has a strong history with on-time payments and a low credit utilization ratio, then your credit is going to significantly benefit from being on this account. And the reason why I say this is because their good history will then become your good history. Just make sure that the credit card that you're being added to as an authorized user on, ladies and gentlemen, reports to all 3 major credit bureaus, because believe it or not, some don't. And then one thing I do want to say too is make sure the card that you're being added to doesn't have any significant debt on it. Because if it has significant debt on it, ladies and gentlemen, this can actually hurt you more than it will help you. And also, if the credit card doesn't even report to the 3 major credit bureaus, there's literally no point in getting added as an authorized user because you would be doing it for nothing. So again, just make sure the credit card you're being added to has a low utilization and it reports to all 3 major credit bureaus, so that way your credit can get boosted. The majority of people out there who tend to add people as an authorized user on their credit though is usually going to be family members, friends, or even a spouse. I personally added one of my close friends as an authorized user on my credit card account before, and his credit score jumped up significantly, which then allowed him to apply for more things down the road because he had a better credit score now. And just to let you guys know, ladies and gentlemen, adding somebody as an authorized user on your credit card does not hurt you at all whatsoever. It will actually hurt the person you're adding though if you run up the usage or even miss a late payment on that card. But that's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. Those are going to be the 3 ways you guys can start building credit fast. I hope you guys found value in any of this information as always. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, then I truly do appreciate you guys. We're at 72,700 subscribers at the time of this recording, so I do appreciate all who watch. I do post weekly videos for those that don't know, but if you guys haven't yet already, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't yet already, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that way you guys get notified every time I post a new video. And again, we talk about personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics, so if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. We talk about how to get high limits on your credit cards, how to boost your personal credit, how to obtain business credit. We talk about real estate, we talk about mortgage loan programs, we talk about all that. So this is your one-stop shop. And also really quick, for those out there that don't know, I am a licensed real estate agent and a licensed mortgage loan originator. So if you guys are trying to sell or purchase a home and you guys are in Southern California, all my information will always be in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.